And what I say is that civilization runs on energy. And if we don't have enough energy, or the price of energy goes up, standard of living has come down. And that's why what happened when our buddy Biden took the Keystone XL pipeline offline, it made me richer, because the oil that Mike and I were selling from our oil wells in North Dakota and Louisiana and Texas, we were selling at $30 a barrel. And in 2000, when Biden got elected, oil went to a spike to 130. So suddenly I liked Biden a lot anyway. More than Obama anyway.
He has been good for the oil industry, even though he's tried to kill it.
So Mike, a big boom came to America with fracking, right?
Right.
Can you talk about that really quickly, what happened?
Yeah. Well, the United States back, if you look back at all the world wars and the wars that we've had in around the globe, I mean, the majority of them have been fought over oil, and even the Ukrainian, thing that's going on now, the war that's going on now, that's also being fought over oil, even though it's not said so, because Ukrainian has some of the largest reserves of natural gas in Europe. So, Russia obviously doesn't want that competition with them entering into the with the other countries. So that's one of the reasons why they're trying to take it back. But as far as fracking, the U.S. used to be the #1 oil producer in the world. And then in about 1970, we had produced a lot of the reserves here in the U.S. through the conventional manners. We've known these unconventional reservoirs have been around for, ever since people have been drilling through them. They just didn't have the technology in order to get the oil out of the ground. And so it wasn't until they came in and started using some old technology, which allowed them to use horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing. Fracturings have been around since the 1940s, and they've continued to improve on that. And that obviously during the Trump administration brought us back to the #1 energy producer in the world. And we were going to obviously be the most dominant energy producer in the world until this administration came on and started pushing the Green New Deal again.
Why are they doing that?
I think there's a lot of lobbyists. I think that there's a lot of money to be made in this big push.
They're screwing the middle class, because when the price of oil goes up, inflation goes through the roof.
I don't think they really get that. They're seeing it now, certainly, but they're in it for the money, and people have made a lot of money on this green push.
Yeah, I have too, because I've been selling carbon credits, and all that stuff. I mean, it's good, but if we cut all the oil off right now, could wind and solar replace the energy we need?
No way. In fact, wind and solar, I mean, look at Germany, for example. I mean, a prime example. Germany, they tried to push this green push, and now they've gone back to burning coal and wood.
Yeah, they're chopping down trees now.
Yeah,
because it's going to be so cold this winter.
And if you look at China and you look at Russia and you look at India, I mean, none of these countries are embracing this climate accord. I mean, it's just the U.S. is pushing this and hoping these other countries are going to come along. But China, they're building a new coal-fired power plant every week.
Jesus. And coal's one of the biggest pollutants there is.
Especially in China. And now Europe's gone back. They're starting to burn coal. And I think that I did hear that in Europe, in England, they're going to go back to fracking wells now. So obviously they're seeing that this hasn't worked either. And it's just been a big boondoggle where, these green, there's a small group of green activists that are trying to push and do away with hydrocarbons. And, one of the things that you can look at, and you don't hear a lot of talk about, is that these windmills are actually killing fields. I mean, they kill birds, they kill eagles, they kill raptors. I mean, they kill all types of birds, and they want to continue to put these massive amount of windmills up. And if you look at one gas-powered power plant, if you were to take that power plant offline, it would take, if you use solar, you would have to have 40 square miles of solar to to produce the same amount of energy as one gas-fired power plant.
Right. So, so that's our comments on this Green New Deal stuff. And Trump actually made us back into a net exporter.
That's correct.
And naturally, the communists of America's left nail us. I can't believe it. Can you believe that, John?
I can believe it. When you think about the motive, the left has an insatiable appetite for power and control. The end justifies the means. They don't care who they destroy. They hate the middle class because the middle class is fairly independent. They go to work, they get a job, they get their paycheck, they have their 401k or maybe a pension. They can't stand that. So when we say the left is stupid, they're not stupid. They're doing exactly what they plan on doing. This is not by accident. This is intentional. They want to squeeze the middle and the lower class as much as possible, put their boot on their neck as hard as possible, so they beg for normalcy. And when they beg for normalcy, that's when an authoritarian arises. That's when a dictator comes in.
Every time there's hyperinflation, dictators arise, revolutions come up. That was Stalin, Mao, Lenin, and Hitler. And we're cruising for that right now. Hyperinflation pisses people off. Can't put food on the table, they can't afford to live. Lifestyle crashes, standard of living crashes. But the bad thing is because this energy that's driving a lot of it plus too much money, it makes everything expensive. And we're crushing us.